You don't need to know anything about Mafia going into the old country because it's a prequel to the fleshed out series that a lot of people consider to be up there with the greats. I hadn't played any of the originals, so going into this fresh new take set in the 1900s, my naive eyes were dazzled, especially because the rather lacking, aged, and at times clunky gameplay put my attention more on the game's predictable but incredible narrative, which I'm going to explain to you in this video. If you like it, snap that like button in half, grab a drink, and let's get into the full story of Mafia: The Old Country. The beginning of our story brings us to 1904 on an island in the southernmost region of Sicily. First, we're introduced to Enzo, our main character, and someone who seems to be a friend of his, Gaetano. Our boy Enzo here and his friend are what are known as Carusi, children that worked in sulfur mines in Sicily around the late 1800s and early 1900s. Paid very little during their typically 12-hour-long excruciating shifts, they mined sulfur and carried it up steep mine shafts. Deformities, lung disease, and early death were very common for these Carusi. Enzo's father had given him to the child laborers here, a clan called the Spadaros, when he was only 5 years old, in the father's attempt to remedy his debt, basically just dropping it all onto Enzo's lap for him to pay off instead. Father of the Year. After a few moments whispering amongst themselves, Enzo and Gaetano appear to be sneaking off from the rest of the miners, and Enzo pulls out their secret stash from under some of the rubble. They count their bills, and a sudden happiness shines on them both for a moment as they realize they're nearly there. They have almost enough money saved up to free themselves from the sulfur pit. Gaetano also grabs his photo of New York and gives it a kiss, but Enzo, on the other hand, holds a small wooden horse with his name carved into it. He clutches the toy in his hand and stares into it longingly, likely bringing back what little memories he has of his father and how he left him stranded here to suffer backbreaking and lung-destroying working conditions since he was barely older than a toddler.
You taking that? No.
While they head back to the other miners, Gaetano asks him another question, if Enzo will talk to his father when he gets out. Enzo replies he would kill him if he saw him. Once they're back, they stumble into something.
Get that up top.
Signore, my ankle. I can't.
What?
Please, I can't.
There is no cat. Not down here.
One of the Spadaros running the place, Il Merlo, is busting this guy's ass because he won't carry some sulfur up to the surface since his ankle is broken. Enzo steps in and says he'll do it, and Merlo scoffs and warns him not to stick his nose where it doesn't belong. The two head up the mine shaft, and Gaetano says it's time to eat. They head up to the cook and notice a nearby volcano is smoking. And you and I both know this is definitely not a good thing. The cook tells them that they're too late and the food is all already gone. But they might just have a plan. They do some rock, paper, scissors. Enzo loses, of course, and has to sneak into the Spadaros storehouses to steal some bread so the two of them can eat. Enzo does so, and they head back to their quarters so they can chill and enjoy their bread, garnished with sulfur dust and gravel. Gaetano asks Enzo to read the letter on the back of his New York photo. It comes from Gaetano's uncle, and it goes on about what it's like living in America, saying if Gaetano came to live with him, he would buy him steak and eggs for breakfast and things of the sort. Gaetano sees it in his head, and he can't wait to get on the first boat to New York as soon as he's out of here. Enzo says he's going far away, but he doesn't really know where. A couple of guards abruptly come in and tell them probably the worst thing you could possibly hear after just finishing your shift. Double shifts by the order of the Spadaros, they tell them. So they get up and head back towards the mines.
You don't want to work? Then clear the way for someone who does!
Nobody's working down there until it's checked out.
Testa di minchia!
Out of the way! Who is wasting my fucking time?
They do not yearn for the mines, in fact. This is Don Spadaro, the head of the Spadaro family. And frankly, he really doesn't give a fuck about the tremors and smoking volcanoes, so he just sends the miners back in anyway. He asks Merlo to send someone in to find the lost group, and oh hey, look who just showed up. Merlo tells Enzo and Gaetano to find the lost group. So the two of them head deep into the mine, the most dangerous part where the group was last seen. There could be gas down there, so they grab lanterns and know that if they start to flare, they need to get the fuck out. After searching for a few minutes, they find a bunch of bodies, people that appear to have died from the gas. But they're under the impression that it dissipated. Not for long, though.
Get down!
Enzo and Gaetano frantically run through the mines to get back to the surface as boulders fall from above, barely missing them.
The money! Forget it. We need to go! Gaetano! I see it! Let's go! Hey! I have it!
Gaetano is dead! Enzo reaches the surface and immediately sees Merlo, regardless of everything that just happened, still telling the miners to keep working. And it's at this point Enzo breaks.
You did this! You sent us down there!
No one tells us that she will, boy. Just get them back to work, huh?
Figli puttana!
Hold your tongue, Carusu, if you want to keep it.
During their fight, another earthquake strikes and throws Merlo off balance, which Enzo takes as an opportunity to cut his face before the roof above them collapses. Enzo slides down the hill and jumps on a horse while getting shot at by all the guards, galloping out of there like he's Arthur Morgan. Holy shit. Enzo finds an abandoned building to take shelter in overnight, but it's not long before the sound of a car approaching wakes him up. Of course, Merlo is here, still searching for him, and Enzo's forced to take a bunch of the men out in an attempt to find an escape.
No more running, huh? I'm gonna make you wish you died in that rubble, huh?
What are you doing here, Damiano? Answer me.
Don Turisi, this is Carusu.
I asked you a question.
The boy owes a debt. We tracked him. In the dark. He must have crossed over. We mean no disrespect. We'll take him. Be on our way.
The boy goes nowhere with you.
Until the debt is paid, he belongs to us.
On my land? You want nothing. You tell your boss, the boy is under my protection. And if our truce is dishonored again, I will repay that offense. Tenfold. Now leave.
We'd risk war with the Spadaros over a kid.
The greater risk would be allowing our enemies to overstep without consequence.
And so we meet him, another main character and one of the most important ones at that. This is Don Turisi. He's the big boss around here, and his family owns this land that the Spadaros just trespassed into. He's clearly not happy about it. He grants Enzo mercy and wants to put him to work. So he has his right-hand man, Luca, give him a horse, and they head to the family estate, their vineyard. This is their main place of operations, and their family business is, of course, wine, among other things. When they arrive, Luca brings Enzo to one of the stables and says he can use one of these sleeping quarter rooms to get some rest since he's gonna need it. After he does, he's awakened abruptly by someone's voice saying something in Sicilian.
Susiti!
That's how you mine boys say hello.
Who are you?
Someone who belongs here. Not here. Out there. You though, you look right at home in the big pen. I'm Cesare. My uncle runs this place.
Where's Luca?
Busy. He told me you wanted to make yourself useful. Don't worry about that. They smell you before they see you. But change out of those rags, will you? I'll wait outside.
This is Cesare, the nephew of Don Teresi. Luca sent him to come and wake Enzo up so he could show him around. He tells Enzo that there's a feast happening later and tells him to help with a couple things. When Enzo starts cleaning out the stable, however, he meets someone.
Who are you?
Sono Enzo. I work here. For now.
You have not always been a stable hand.
No.
Well, we do not always get to choose what we do.
Suppose not. Or we can choose who we are.
We can.
No, grazie.
See you around, Enzo.
After Enzo meets Isabella, he heads back to Cesare, and it's here we meet another high-ranking member of the Teresi family briefly. We see Tino up on the balcony telling Cesare to get off his ass and finish setting up the feast, and Cesare tells Enzo to go clean up. Once the feast starts, Enzo stuffs his face with some food, showing just how hungry this man is.
Enzo. I've seen dogs with more restraint. The Don butchers all the meat himself. I'll let him know you appreciate his work.
Please, my friends, my family, be upstanding in the celebration of my beautiful daughter, Isabella, on her name day.
Yep, Isabella is Don Teresi's daughter, and for now, Enzo is finally free of the dangers of the sulfur pits, but pursuing this curiosity towards Isabella could prove even more dangerous. Our next chapter brings us a little bit ahead in time, likely a few weeks or months later. We see Enzo loading up another wagon with some Teresi wine. Luca tells him about the Palio happening in San Celeste, an annual horse race taking place in the nearby town. They ride together and deliver some wine, and we learn a couple things about Luca, like what his life was like before being a part of the family, living in a farm, and how he's been working for the Don for 20 years now. Luca even has a little knife training session with Enzo, as it will become a pretty core set of mechanics throughout the game. They eventually meet up with Tino, and he tells them Cesare got the Teresi family's rider drunk the night before, so they may have to forfeit the race. But of course, our boy Enzo steps up and offers to race in his stead. And of course, he wins the race like a goddamn chat. A bit later, Enzo meets back up with Isabella and hangs out with her as they deliver some more wine, spending a bit of quality time together, before some of the Spadaro's members come across them and start a knife fight. Enzo puts his new knife skills to the test and fights this ugly bastard named El Ombra, who we've seen, by the way, before back at the mine. Sicily is such a beautiful sight to behold, much like you. If you're enjoying my video so far, it would help so much if you pistol whip that like button to let YouTube know that more people should see it. Alright, now, let's continue. When it looks like Enzo won and is about to royally fuck this guy up, Luca appears.
Shit. Leave! This isn't over, Carusu!
Figli puttana, get the fuck out of here!
Enzo was standing up for me.
Yes? Good. Things can get out of hand on race day. Get back. Isabella. Not a word of this to your father. This stays between me and you. O capisti?
Sì.
All right. Let's go.
Enzo is reading a handwritten note straight from Isabella, thanking him for stepping in against El Ombra and offering Enzo to meet in the garden next to the villa. Enzo is also notified by a mafioso that Luca is waiting for him at the stables. Enzo visits Isabella and she apologizes for any trouble she may have caused. Enzo expresses to her that it may be a bad idea to be meeting like this in private, only for Tino to ambush the both of them. Some harsh words are exchanged from Tino to both of them. Tino is a little shit, complaining about this or that, and the old bastard wanders off. Grandpa, did you forget your medicine? Shortly after, Enzo heads to the stables to meet with Luca and Cesare. Luca offers Enzo the opportunity to try helping with some other tasks he can carry out for the Don. He says that Don Teresi protects people around here in exchange for money. And so Enzo rides off with Luca and Cesare, and the three of them engage in the typical collecting of protection money, with a bit of force shown for the ones that don't cooperate. The next stop is a port, so the three of them meet up with Don Galante, or as others call him, Niccolo.
You ever work around here or just sit around and play games?
Oh, un momento.
Merda!
We aim to keep our minds sharp, at least I do.
He and his grandson, Leo, are allies of the Teresi family. Don Galante is having some trouble with a seized shipment of alcohol, so Luca sends Enzo, Cesare, and Leo to go and steal it back while Luca discusses business with the Don. Once they return the shipment, all is well, but they have one last stop for the day, a farm belonging to this guy. He tells the three of them that a bunch of bandits stole his water pump. He's upset, of course, and exclaims that the protection fee he pays should be honored. I mean, what the hell else is he paying them for? Luca says that they'll take care of it, so he sends Enzo and Cesare to deal with the situation. They raid a bandit hideout and fight off a couple waves of enemies to eventually get the pump back.
Hey. You did good today. What a mind boy.
So, once you do, you head to the farm and give the man his water pump, finishing the day off nicely, and getting paid in the process.
That will be 100 lira.
What?
I'd say that's a good deal.
Damn good deal.
It's a fine day in Sicily. Enzo and Cesare are chilling until a car pulls up. Cesare tells Enzo that this is Baron Fontanella, a man who owns basically everything around here, and he's accompanied by his son, Gennaro. The Baron and Don Teresi help each other out from time to time, according to Cesare, and Gennaro, the son, is a bit of a little shit. Luca interrupts and tells the two of them that he has an important job for them. He says it's in the Don's interest for Isabella and Gennaro to spend some quality time together. Gennaro wants to bring her to a temple on the coast, and it's up to Enzo and Cesare to escort them there. We both know Enzo's not a fan of that idea, but Isabella doesn't want to ride in the car and would rather take her horse, she says. And of course, Enzo shall be her escort.
I don't mind driving. You must be tired from the journey.
Not tired enough to trust you behind the wheel.
While the two of them ride together, Isabella voices her disdain for political marriages and how she's starting to resent her father for it. The two of them continue flirting with each other for a while, racing to the top of a hill and taking a picture of the temple together. But eventually they meet back up with the others, and Isabella heads off with Gennaro for a couple of hours. Cesare, bored as ever while they wait for the pair to come back, tells Enzo he should try driving the car. Enzo's against it at first, but he gives in eventually, and Cesare teaches him how to drive. They do a few laps around the ruins until they hear Isabella scream in the distance, and they rush over as fast as they can. Before they can even process what's going on, gunfire breaks out between them and a bunch of bandits. And by a bunch of bandits, I mean an infinite fucking swarm that spawns around every single corner. Like, dude, come on, guys. Why are there so many?
Put him up in front.
Oh yeah, my father will have you.
Testa di nicchia! Figli puttana!
Let's go! Enzo! We can't let them get away! Get in!
The two of them hop back in the car and chase the bandits throughout the valley, exchanging gunfire between the car and the horses. And by the way, this bandit group's car somehow just has infinite explosives because the number of times they block a path by blowing something up is inconceivable. What the fuck is happening? Eventually, Enzo finally gets an opening to jump onto the carriage. He beats the shit out of everyone and grabs Isabella, jumping off with her, narrowly escaping a shotgun blast from the bandit's leader. Isabella is safe, but the bandits still have Gennaro, and Enzo feels that it's his duty to make this right. He wants to save Gennaro, but most importantly, those bandits tried kidnapping his girl. He ain't having it.
I will repay that offense. Tenfold.
Enzo heads over to the bandit camp and leaves not one of them still breathing, including their leader. By the way, Messina, this guy, this is the leader, right? And he could have just shotgun blasted you when he had you at gunpoint. But you pull out a knife, and he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll honor that, and pulls out his own knife. But then while you're fighting him, he throws dirt in your eye. So it's like, dude, does this guy care about honor or not? Why did he just make the odds not in his favor when he could have just killed you and taken this guy? And that was kind of stupid. Anyway, after you stab the shit out of him, he bleeds out, and the two of you escape the camp, returning back safe and sound.
Hey.
Gennaro! Boy! What did those thugs do? You're hurt! You're hurt!
I'm all right, father. Cuts and bruises.
I counted on you keeping Isabella and Gennaro safe.
It won't happen again.
But you risk your life to make amends. It showed bravery. In his family, loyalty is everything.
A week after the kidnapping, Enzo and Isabella meet in the church. He tells her that the Dawn has asked to see him about something and asks if she told anyone about them kissing.
Because your father has asked to see me. And I don't know what about.
If I've caused you any trouble, I'm sorry.
I'm not. I want to be with you.
I want that too.
I'll find a way.
She tells him to be careful, and he leaves for the meeting, unsure of what to expect.
Come in, Enzo.
I want to speak with you about my daughter. What you did for her, for our family, took courage.
He really had us for a second there. Don Teresi tells Enzo that what happened to Isabella last week was an insult to her and the family's reputation. He tells Enzo how much he values loyalty and asks him if he wants to help him put this matter to a close. He agrees, and the Don says the orchestrator of the kidnapping wasn't actually the bandits, it was a man named Ludovici, a business partner of the Baron, who needs to be dealt with. Enzo sees the man in charge of the family's weapons, Valerio, and gears up, talking to Isabella for a moment before heading to the meeting point. Enzo arrives at Ludovici's villa, and security is tight with Spadaro members as he expects someone might come after him. But for our boy Enzo, it's no problem, mainly because this game is like really easy.
Is this about Fontanella? You want money? Take anything! Guards! Guards! Please! We know you're up there!
Ludovici wakes up while Enzo's occupied, and then you have to chase him through the villa while finishing off the rest of Spadaro's security. Enzo reaches him and puts him in the car, bringing Ludovici to Tino for his final punishment. Just make sure that you don't take your time, because if you even think about doing this for 10 seconds, Tino just decides to shoot you. So yeah, you better kill this guy quick. A week later, we see Enzo reading one of the many love letters Isabel has given to him, before being interrupted by Cesare. It sounds rather urgent, and Cesare tells him that he's needed. Enzo follows him and is a little confused, asking questions, but Cesare just tells him to stop talking and listen before they meet Luca in front of a door to the cellar. Then they go inside.
Come forward. All of the men in this room are bound by blood. This is a family.
You're here because of your deeds and the assertions of those who stand at your side.
This life is one of secrecy. If you make a friend, meet a woman, they must not know about our thing.
It is binding. It is not forgiving. Do you wish to commit yourself, your life, to this family?
Yes. I do.
Then, before the eyes of all here present, join me. To become a man of honor, repeat these words. I swear my loyalty to this family.
I swear my loyalty to this family.
My flesh must burn like this saint if I do not keep my oath.
My flesh must burn like this saint if I do not keep my oath.
Welcome, Enzo.
Benvenuto, Enzo.
Benvenuto, Enzo.
Benvenuto.
Salute.
Salute.
Tino pulled the lupara. It was like he saw the devil himself.
Part of the family now, eh?
Enzo is part of the Teresi family now, bound by blood and sworn on the name of the Virgin Mary. They have a celebration and get drunk as shit. Cesare almost dies by standing on the edge of a bridge, taking a piss, drunk driving to the nearest town, and going to a brothel. Just your average Friday night. But Enzo decides not to go in as he has a woman of his own in mind, and he dozes off in the car. Cesare wakes him up in the morning and they head to Enzo's new place. Aside from the blood on the floor and the letter with death threats scribbled inside of it, it's actually pretty cozy. Enzo is grateful that he can forget about sleeping in that pig pen, and he can even have his own visitors from now on. Maybe a certain someone. Cesare congratulates Enzo one last time before giving him a nice, wholesome bro hug to his new family member and telling him to get some rest. It's 1906. We open back up to Enzo and Cesare driving somewhere, a tannery as it turns out. The two of them meet up with Leo, and he escorts them into one of the buildings where a meeting is taking place. Don Teresi and Don Galante tell everyone about a plan that they've just hatched, a collaborative maneuver between the families so that they can financially compete with the Spadaros. Don Teresi talks a bit of shit about the Spadaros and then leads everyone to a secret room in the back.
What is this?
A government currency press.
You want to print cash? For the Americans?
When opportunities arise, you seize them.
We have enlisted the finest counterfeiter in all of Italy to engrave our printing plates, eh?
A Sicilian, but he's been all over. His work has never been detected.
It's a solid plan, but this counterfeiter, Giuseppe, the guy that they need for all this to work, is in a bit of a pickle. Remember the town where the horse race happened? Giuseppe was arrested and put in jail there for having his counterfeiting plates. They're pretty sus. So Enzo, Cesare, and Leo are assigned with the task of breaking him out. That's right, it's prison break time. The three of them head over to San Celeste, and Enzo meets up with an informant who discreetly gives him a tour of the police station, showing him where the jail is and giving him some important details. Now all that's left is actually getting the guy out, so they wait till nightfall. Enzo heads into the station, taking out any of the guards in the way, and eventually makes it to the jail to free Giuseppe. But there's a problem. The guy's printing plates were confiscated when he got arrested, and Enzo needs to find them if they want this whole printing operation to work. All he tells you is that they're in a safe somewhere. Enzo passes by this piece of shit, which the game doesn't let you fucking stab for some reason, and then takes care of some more guards to make it to the safe. Well, I guess you can't sneak anymore. Enzo and Cesare fight through a bunch of guards to reach Giuseppe again, escaping through a gate. Enzo attempts to put a wooden beam to prevent them from being chased, but he gets ambushed from behind. The captain points his gun, but Enzo tries to get a hold of it, and they start fighting, which breaks out into a knife fight. Enzo's getting his shit rocked, but Leo and Cesare show up just in time to save their boy. The operation was a success, and the money printing can commence. They bring Enzo home, and they say goodnight, but when he gets inside, something is wrong. Someone stuck a hairpin into his door. And yeah, I'm sure you can figure out who it is.
You're taking a risk. You know what I am.
And I know who you are. Even if you don't. You're not like the others. I've told you what I want, Enzo. Now it's your turn.
Another annual race is happening soon, but this time it's not with horses, it's cars. Due to them now conducting business with people in New York, finding success with their printing press operation, the Teresi family manages to get their hands on a race car. They want to beat the Spadaros again, like they did before in the horse race, but in order to get a spot in the race, they need to pull a few strings behind the scenes. Nothing that blackmailing one of the racers with an embarrassing photo can't fix, right? With their spot guaranteed in the race, they fix up the car and have Enzo test drive it before the big day. Come race day, the whole family is cheering Enzo on. Beating the Spadaros in this race would mean a lot for them, and the pressure is high. But then the car breaks down as soon as the race starts, and it's looking pretty grim, before you manage to start the thing and pull through, winning the race. They have a mini celebration at the docks, and Enzo even gets to meet a couple of the family's American clients. They take a nice little family photo with the car and celebrate for the rest of the night. A little calm before the storm. Do you like shooter games? I do, and we're going to take a second away from Mafia to talk about StarCraft X, a hardcore PvPvE extraction shooter that dumps you in a huge open world exclusion zone with quests, random events, and, oh yeah, actual human players who may or may not want to ruin your day.
Lay my ass down till this bleed go away or whatever the fuck, I don't know. Got health pack?
Loot works like this. Whatever you drag back from raid is yours, and if you die, well, say goodbye to that stuff in particular. But if you can make it out, it's yours. If you need to warm up before the intensity of extraction, session modes let you do deathmatch and gun game, where you'll just get 5 to 10 minutes of pure PvP, no crazy prep needed. On the other hand, what you will need to prep for is endgame content, which for StarCraft's extraction means you'll face the most dangerous wild zones with the best rewards. Plus, there's clan wars and, coming soon, 3-player co-op operations, pitting you against raid bosses. Finding like-minded individuals is easy with the 4 factions in the game, each with their own allies, enemies, and quest lines. Plus, there's seasonal events, which means StarCraft is constantly updated with a variety of game modes, battle royales, arenas, and more. It's the perfect game for people who enjoy either PvP or PvE. There's something for everyone to have fun for hundreds of hours. So hop into the zone today with my link in the description and use the bonus code to get exclusive rewards from my channel. Big thanks to StarCraft for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. Isabella decides to spend the night with Enzo after the celebration, but come morning, there's a knock at the door. It's Tino.
Who is it?
Minchia. Stay in here. Hey!
Never leave me standing on the doorstep. I have to talk. It's urgent. Who's it?
No one. Why?
You have a woman here. Get her out of here.
There's nobody here.
Don't lie to me.
I said there's nobody.
Tino tells Enzo that one of his informants in the police was told to prepare for a raid at the tannery that day, which only means one thing: someone talked. He tells Enzo to race over there ASAP to tell Cesare and everyone else to evacuate and get as much money as possible out of there. Enzo speeds over to the tannery, and while telling Cesare what's going on, we get a view of who's behind all this. We see the same major that Enzo fought near the station, and the one who talked, El Ombra. He must have heard about the operation while Enzo was breaking out Giuseppe. Cesare tells Enzo to warn the men and to find the forger who was last seen at the printing press. But when Enzo gets to it, he's not there. A mafioso tells him he has no idea where he is, but eventually you find Giuseppe next to a couple bodies. The guy had to do some shanking himself. Leaving a trail of bodies on the way, Enzo heads back to the main building and finds Cesare getting his shit kicked in by El Ombra. He uses Cesare as a shield for a moment before running off and stealing the car filled with a shit ton of their counterfeit money. Before you know it, you and Cesare are chasing him through this misty road, but before El Ombra inevitably crashes and you search for him.
My brother will tear this valley apart.
When people hear you broke Omerta, did Spadaro set this up?
Why don't we just...
The two of them sit in thought as they burn his body with the car. And this would spout trouble. I mean, an important Spadaro member was killed by the Turrisi family, even if no one knows yet. To try and sort things out, Don Turrisi calls for a meeting with Don Spadaro a few days later.
Are you going to make this right?
There's nothing for me to remedy. And nothing further to discuss.
The tensions between the Turrisi and Spadaro families had been rising day by day, but what would happen a year later would change everything. Enzo reads a letter from Isabella. It tells him how her father's mood is changing and how he's quick to anger. She tells Enzo that they won't be able to see each other for a while. Baron Fontanella suddenly shows up and Enzo escorts him to the Don's office. A factory that the Baron owns has shut its production down. It's currently on strike. And the man behind the strike is none other than a trusted friend of the Don's, a man named Lorenzetti, at least allegedly. The Baron shows the Don an extortion letter that was sent to him, telling the Baron to pay up if he wants the factory's production to remain. Since the man behind this is very close to Don Turrisi, the Baron wants him to deal with it, and so Enzo is sent to check it out. He asks a few people around the vineyard and near the factory about Lorenzetti, and learns that he's a big gambler, playing a lot of cards with some of his co-workers. Enzo speaks to these people, and they say that the three of them were just playing cards as normal in Lorenzetti's office the other night, until a couple of guys came in and told everyone to leave. Enzo checks the office out and finds a note, or two, or three. Basically, Lorenzetti got into some heavy debt with the Spadaros. Then a mysterious stranger comes to tell Enzo to look at the factory because there's a bunch of armed men stripping the place clean. And he tells Enzo that they dragged Lorenzetti to the office there and locked the gates. Enzo heads over to find a way into the factory, and once you get into the foreman's office, you find Lorenzetti beaten, bleeding, and struggling to breathe on the floor.
What happened?
Bastard held me here. Beat me. Took everything. Il Merlo.
He was here?
Chased the workers away. They want to lean on Fontanella.
Okay, tranquillo. Can you move?
No, no.
Lorenzetti! Lorenzetti! Merda!
Enzo gets into a firefight with Il Mirlo and the other Spadaros while he tries to escape the burning factory. He fights this big, beefy Spadaro henchman and eventually escapes the building. A few hours later, Tino has a chat with Don Turrisi.
Foreman's dead, and already cremated. You know what this means?
They're moving on the whole valley.
That all shit about this man acting alone in the tannery. This was already in motion.
Puttana la miseria. If this is how he wants it, this is how it'll be.
This can only mean one thing: war. It's another day at the vineyard, and we see it looks rather busy. People are dressed nicely, everyone seems to be busy, and our man Enzo is waiting by the car out front.
You're to wait and drive her to San Celeste when she's ready.
Of course.
The roads will be busy because of the parade. Make sure you're there before the ceremony starts.
Sleepy Joe gives us a weird look, and after a moment, they head out. Meanwhile, Enzo waits for Isabella.
I'm sorry for the hold up. Was the only way to get my own private chauffeur.
You're worth the wait.
Today is the Saints' Day parade in San Celeste. By the way, it's San Celeste, not San Celeste. I'm so sorry for how many times I say it wrong in this video. I just couldn't be asked to re-record it, so suffer. A very important day for the Turrisi family, but more importantly for Luca, as it's the baptism of his newborn son. Enzo and Isabella head to the town, talking about their future and being lovey-dovey as ever, before they reach town and come across a couple stalls where Enzo buys her a gift. He gives it to her, and they swear to each other that no matter what comes, they will find a way to be together one day, and Enzo will get her father's blessing somehow. Then they head into the church.
Make the lives of his parents and godparents an example of faith to inspire this child. See that the divine life which God gives him is kept safe from the poison of sin. For a heritage from on high, the fruit of the womb, a reward.
Signore? Step forward.
Assassino!
The Spadaros, almost pulling a Game of Thrones Red Wedding on the family, have Il Merlo start shooting at them from a fucking bell tower. Dude, what is wrong with these people? Enzo progressively gets closer to the church, hiding behind what cover he can. Also, this guy has aimbot. He climbs up and strikes at Merlo, but it's not enough, because then we get a series of chasing and knife fights that happen. Eventually, this fucker gets in a car, and Enzo has no choice but to get on horseback and run him down. We are not letting him get away this time. Holy shit. I guess Merlo and his brother El Ombra are both pretty shit at driving, as Merlo also ends up crashing while trying to escape Enzo. I think at this point, you're pretty much just aura farming these guys. Like, they're smoked, they're fucked, they're cooked. He searches the car, and their fight comes to an end.
Yes!
Luca saves Enzo's life a second time, and Don Teresi, at this point, is feeling perhaps the most vengeful he's felt in his entire life. Concerned with the escalating violence in the region, Baron Fontanella and Don Galante invite Don Teresi to chat by the docks.
Thank you for coming. This bloodshed, it has to stop.
Spadaro attacked my family. He put you in ruin. Cowardice is repaid in misery.
But what is the cost, eh? The cost of acting in anger.
What if something happens to you? What kind of future would you live, Isabella? If I can get Spadaro to come to the table, would you consider it?
Don Teresi decides to bite the bullet momentarily, giving one final chance to meet with the Spadaros and settle this whole ordeal, or at least come to a compromise. Come meeting day, Enzo has a chat with Isabella, and she tells him how uncomfortable the violence has been making her.
I love you, Enzo. But I cannot live in my father's world. Not anymore. But there's something else.
What do you mean?
I... Find me later. We need to talk.
Soon he will tell her father about them and get his blessing, so they won't have to hide anymore. But Isabella holds doubt. Enzo heads over to meet Luca, and his wife is grilling him too about the whole situation, saying he has a son now, and that it's not worth it. But he assures her it's been worse before, and they'll pull through. And so Don Teresi, Luca, Cesare, as well as Enzo, drive to the meeting spot on the Galante's turf, where they meet Don Spadaro.
Despite misgivings, I'm here on the promise to find a settlement.
Too much blood has been spilled.
Because you broke your word. And because you can't control your men.
Are you asking for my protection?
I've seen how things turn out for those that you look after.
Let's dispense with the recriminations, shall we?
Hear him out.
What is this?
Fontanella's the selling up, Teresi. Is a stake in the mine, prospecting, and water rights on the east side of the valley. Including his vineyard, which you've taken as your home.
I ask again. What is this?
I have been left with no choice.
I'll offer market rate for your remaining holdings. As a mark of respect.
You can't be serious.
Bernardo, please. Don't stand in the way of progress.
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 And what happens when the land is stripped bare? How will you line your pockets then, huh? No, this is an affront.
It's an opening position. I see it's not been very well received.
hell breaks loose. Don Galante is dead, and Luca is hit bad. Enzo clears out the Spadaro members one by one, escorting Luca and the Don to safety, but they need to hurry because Luca is losing blood fast. They load him onto the truck and start driving to the port, but the Spadaros are determined to end them. Once Enzo and Cesare take care of the remaining Spadaros, they head into the bar and...
Where is the doctor?
He's coming. You'll be alright, okay? You're alright. Resisti, Luca, tranquillo.
God, forgive me. It's look at me. Get up. If you can. Get up.
Luca! 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 I've got it! Luca, svegliati!
As great of a loss the Torrisi family had sustained with Luca now gone, they would have to keep moving forward. Spadaro had shown he wouldn't give up there. He wanted everything. Enzo wakes up to the sound of a horse outside of his house. Paranoid as ever with the escalating violence, he's weary and doesn't answer the door for just anyone anymore. But it's his neighbor Enrico, and he tells Enzo that the Don needs to see him. Enzo grabs his things and finds Cesare outside. They take a safe route, as the Spadaros could be hiding anywhere waiting for them. While they head to the vineyard, they chat about the current state of affairs. Tino has tightened security everywhere, and Cesare says even since he was a kid, nobody had tried to kill a Don before, let alone succeeded with Don Galante now gone. He also says that Don Torrisi has a job for them, since Enzo and Cesare are now pretty much his closest and most trusted men. Aside from Tino, only they can do it. And then they reach the cellar.
Sit. Now you.
But
I have something to discuss with Enzo. I won't say it again. Betrayal burns because it can only come from someone close. In hell, the lowest circle is reserved for sinners guilty of treachery. All that I have, all that we have, will be lost. Unless we do what they can't expect. Word has reached me that they're settling their deal in Palermo tonight. Out in the open at the opera. Just another gentleman's agreement. Those snakes think that I'm finished. That they've nothing to fear in the city. We have a friend in Palermo. He can get you where you need to go.
I make those bastards pay.
For your loyalty, his family will owe you a great debt.
What are you doing down here?
What is he asking you to do?
Answer my question.
Answer mine.
I need to take care of something. I won't be gone for long.
I'm sure that's what Luca told Valentina. Let me guess. He wants you to go alone.
I can handle myself, Isabella. I have to do this. For Luca.
There is nothing you can do for Luca. Luca is gone. He died for my father, for his honor. I won't let you do the same. And so... I'm pregnant.
I have no choice. Your father is...
This would have been an easy decision for the man I thought you were.
Enzo knows what he must do, not only to avenge Luca, to grant some semblance of peace to his grieving wife, children, and the Torrisi family, but to also have his debt repaid and be granted the Don's blessing to finally be with Isabella without having to hide it. Without delay, Enzo meets with his driver, and they head towards the opera house. The Baron is still hesitant to completely sign the Torrisi land over to the Spadaro, but in Don Torrisi's eyes, the Baron was already dead. This is an old friend of the Don, and he leads Enzo through a series of old smuggler tunnels, an alternate way to get into the opera house basement undetected. The guards had already anticipated this possibility, but Enzo takes them out nonetheless. Before Enzo heads up into the opera house, the priest tells him where the Baron is seated, and that he must be sneaky about this. If anyone else is alerted, the Baron will be gone. Enzo sneaks through the backstage and into the upper levels of the house's seating, and takes care of him.
Your greed. So a good man die. People mourn him. Who the fuck would grieve for you?
You.
Get in there, now!
There's just one man left to deal with. Enzo played a requiem with the sound of his gunshots, thinking of his lost friend.
Has anything changed? You're 100 miles from that stinking pit you crawled out from, but still doing a master's bidding.
You killed Luca Trapani. And I'll make you answer for that. Nobody else.
Spadaro led and organized his family well, but his knife skills, however, were no match for Enzo's. Spadaro's dead, but Enzo is far from safe. The priest shows up to escort Enzo back to the wagon, and they're nearly caught, but the priest has a sharp tongue, and Enzo is able to make it out. He opens the door to the Don's office and gives him the ring of the man he wanted dead for so long.
You did right by Luca. You did right by this family. I'm proud of what you've become.
Don Torrisi also tells Enzo that they buried Luca, and that he should go pay his respects.
Now your boys are left without a father. So I know you'll understand what I have to do. I was willing to die for this family. Now I have to live for my own. And choose us. Our family.
With a new goal in mind, Enzo is once again called to meet with the Don.
Just the man I wanted to see. They all tell the truth in the end. I told you before the family owed you a great debt. Now I'm in a position to make you whole. That mine that you crawled out of now belongs to me. You know how it works, so you're the man in charge. This will make you a very rich man, Enzo.
It's a new world for the Teresi family now that Spadaro is gone, but there are still remnants of them scattered about that need to be dealt with. Enzo and Tino drive this poor bastard to a burial spot. Tino, of course, shoots the guy who dug the hole and says he was working with the Spadaros. After dumping the body, he tells Enzo to fetch Cesare to deal with the rest of the Spadaro members. The two of them discuss the whereabouts of the remaining people and decide to split up for a bit. But before Enzo heads out, he speaks to Isabella in the kitchen.
I have everything ready. When is this happening? When, Enzo?
Soon.
It feels like my heart will burst at any moment.
There's just one last thing I have to do.
Be careful. Tino's been sniffing around, suspicious of something.
I'll be careful.
Enzo thanks Valentina for helping them. She knows all too well what it feels like to lose the man she loved in this line of work and doesn't want Isabella to suffer the same. Enzo heads off, and a few gunfights and car chases later, Cesare and Enzo meet with Tino to take care of the last loose end. It's a man hiding in a church, and the priest outside begs them not to carry out such acts in the building. The man comes out, talking about how he has a wife and a kid, and how he can just leave Sicily, but Tino and Cesare, unfazed, the man gets a bullet nonetheless. Tino, annoyed with the priest's resistance, takes him into the church and has a little chat with him while Enzo and Cesare head back. Later that night, they have a celebration. They can finally forget about the Spadaros for good. Cesare shares some drunken words of wisdom before Enzo has a chat with Leo.
The thing we talked about. Don't worry about him. If you go, stay calm. That's my advice. All my business here is done. We'll be on our way soon. Inside, there's an address. Franco's cousin. You get over the water. You write him, all right? He'll know where we wash up. Thank you, Leo. Buona fortuna, Enzo. A presto. A presto.
Enzo writes a letter to Isabella. He says they plan to board a train taking them to Palermo, the capital, and board the ship to America. The day has come, and he drives to Valentina's house.
I think he's had a fever. I should check. I almost forgot. I have something for you. For the little one. Thank you. You look after her.
I will.
The two of them drive together, daydreaming about their future. They run into a Teresi mafioso momentarily, but Enzo convinces him he's just escorting Isabella to pick up some things at the port. And now that they've arrived at the train station, this new chapter of their life together can finally begin.
Are you ready to do this?
Yes. There's so much I wanted to tell you. I just couldn't find the words. Everything I have to say is here.
Leaving without saying goodbye.
Enzo!
I always knew you were trouble, Caruso. Now you're gonna get what's coming to you.
Get your hands off me!
And he's not the only one. Father Ciccone, tell us about your daddy's little secret. He broke your father's heart. But your sins may yet be absolved. Your father's made arrangements.
No, no, no!
Pick it up. I said, pick it up. Get him out of here.
Enzo, I love you.
I'll find you. I'll find you.
Susiti! Carusu!
Cesare. No, please.
What the fuck were you thinking? You could have had any girl in Sicily. Any girl in the goddamn war. Why her?
Because I love her. I've always loved her.
You ruined it. You've thrown away everything my uncle's given you.
What's he given me? Huh? He's made me a thief, Cesare. A murderer.
You did that. You pulled the trigger. Always. You chose this.
Just don't let anything happen to her. The baby. Please, Cesare, they're all I have.
Enough. You don't get a say in this. Every word you've spoken to me is a lie. And I'm sorry. We were friends.
Even Enzo's closest friend had turned against him. His hands bound, Cesare walks Enzo through the area. The Don doesn't care about the smoking volcano in the distance. He's only thinking about his daughter and what Enzo did to her.
Got him loose. Untie his fucking hands!
Don't worry. I love her.
I welcome you into my family! And you betray me from the start! You think I would allow it? Huh? Caruso! Let you ruin her! Isabella will marry who I tell her to marry. The new Baron Fontanella, and she will live happily ever after. Because I have a doctor that will wipe every trace of you from this earth. Understand?
But Isabella is...
You shut up! I beg you, don't Tracy, please! He was a member of a brotherhood, now he's nothing. If rules aren't upheld, what use are they? You show me you have what it takes. You wanna be someone? You take your knife and end him. Cut his fucking throat.
Cesare won't give up, but neither will Enzo.
Just do it. Come on! Why won't you do it?
You're my friend.
It all could have been yours. He gave you everything.
Live for yourself, Cesare. Not for him. Not for this.
Enzo pushes forward for the only thing he can think about, getting to Isabella.
Make yourself presentable. A car is on its way to take you to a doctor. Clean this stain away.
Tino, you can't do this.
Tino, I am begging you, please. You're heartless. You're heartless. Why?
You dishonored your father. You shamed this family.
Vaffanculo!
Isabella begs Tino not to do this, but he may be the coldest motherfucker of the entire family. She takes her hairpin and lockpicks the door, sneaking out and avoiding the mafiosos as best she can, before one of the housemaids offers to help her by being a distraction. Then she heads through the cellar in an attempt to escape. It's at this point, Isabella realizes they will stop at nothing to take her baby and prevent her from reaching Enzo. They fight through the people they were so close to, the people that they stood alongside for so many years, working together as one big family. Enzo gets cornered and is forced to run into the mine. He runs through the caverns, desperate to escape, but the Don just keeps throwing men at him, even firing at Enzo himself before ambushing him. And he gets crushed. When Enzo is about to escape, the Don emerges from the rubble.
Can't escape what you've done! I won't allow it.
To finally break free from the chains of the Teresi family and run away with the woman he loves, Enzo had no choice.
You could have had it all. I have everything I need. So demented. Look at me. Look me in the eye. You can't change what you are.
Enzo. Just you and me. Like we said. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Isabella, not knowing what's happened, keeps trying desperately to escape the vineyard. To get to Enzo, she kills Tino.
Leave me, stay back. Where is Enzo? Where is he? Cesare, where is he?
There's nothing for you here now. You need to go.
have a...
After everything that Isabella went through, she's able to move on and start her new life in America. But right before she gets there, she reads Enzo's letter on the boat.
Amore mio, we'll remember today for the rest of our lives. It's the day we chose a future for our family. My father left me for dead. Our child will live how they choose. Just knowing that makes everything we've been through worthwhile. I can't undo my past, but you helped me to rise above it. And for that you have my love, my loyalty, forever. Enzo.
He had one word burned into his identity. He couldn't escape his past, no matter what he did, no matter how much of his life he gave or how many bodies he buried in the name of the Torrisi family. They would always just see him as a Carusu. He couldn't choose his past or undo it, but to Isabella, that didn't matter. He was her love. Enzo's story is tragic, and holy fuck, this game made me care about its characters in ways that most games don't. It's just good writing. But what did you think? Comment down below real quick so we can have a little discussion about how we feel, and as always, thanks to my patrons and YouTube members right there. If you want to see more of my Weird Story Explained videos, you might just like this one. Or, on the other hand, you might also like this one. You're gonna want to click on one before it's too late. What happens when it's too late? Well, the stretching. I'm going to stretch. I'm getting stretched as we speak. Please help.